write short stories. I want to write a novel which features in the New York Times best-selling list for straight 3 years and wins the Nobel Prize for Literature and gets converted into a motion picture which wins Oscars and grosses billions worldwide. I want to be the biggest, the mightiest, the shiniest, and the most important person you ever lay eyes upon. But as I sit and stare and gaze at my big dreams, I wonder, what am I doing here? And why am I not there? That is when an epiphany occurs. It is because I lost sight of the things that mattered the most. I lost sight of the small things. How many of you actually, really pay importance to those tiny little small things in life? How many of you? Why is it that more often than not, these small things slip past the cracks and we escape unnoticed? When I talk to my family, friends and foes regarding this, 2 major points came up. They don't matter. And they don't add up. Let us take a deeper look into both these points. The small things don't matter. The general perception is, whatever small things we do, they are so minuscule that they hardly seem to make any difference at all. How does my walking to my office every day matter? Nothing, right? It doesn't make any difference. I barely even break a sweat. How does recycling my 1 plastic water bottle figure in the big scheme of things? It's just 1 plastic bottle, for God's sake. But this is where we go wrong. Small things matter a lot. According to Wikipedia, the population of India in 2012 was 1.2 billion. Imagine if all those 1.2 billion people recycle their water bottles and avoid using plastic. How much impact will that have on the environment? Let us come closer to home. The table topics. The smallest act of participating in the table topics in our club meetings and taking part in the table topic context last year gave me the confidence that I can handle anything thrown at me. In fact, in my interview for ISB, the panel asked me, "So, Mr. Rastogi, can you tell us your views on section 377A? Impromptu table topics?" Check. In fact, I shudder to think, if it was not for the table topic training I received in the club, what would have happened there? God knows. It is these small things that matter in ways we don't even realize, because these small things act as the building blocks of very life itself. You think I'm kidding? You all are made up of electrons, protons, neurons, and hence they're breaking it down into further smaller particles. And these particles make up everything around us. The little, tiny, small things. Moving on to the next point. They don't add up. Funnily enough, the small things have a crazy way of adding up, building up. We are all Toastmasters, and this strikes very close to home. In fact, Our speeches have to be organized into an opening, body, and conclusion. We have to have very good usage of words. We need to use similes, puns, metaphors, rhetorical devices, and words which are visual and kinematic and whatnot. We need to have facial gestures and body language. Otherwise, even though you will be very happy after your speech, your evaluator will be very sad. You need to have voice modulation, but the tone and pitch of it. And you need to have the research done so that all your points are to the T. You also need to use visual aids, because God forbid nobody understands anything if you do not use visual aids. And on top of it, you don't have to use any ahs, such words. You also don't have to use any bad language. And if you survive all of this, you also have to persuade and inspire the audience. Seriously. I make one mistake here and I am all. But on an honest note, we all know how much these small things really add up to the speech. How they add value to everything that we utter. How they add gravitas to our speeches and have an impact on the audience. This is small things adding up. 206 bones, 78 internal organs, more than 700 named muscles, and I don't know what you call this number, so I'll just write it down. 85 into 10 raised to the power 9 neurons. All very small things add up to make you. A pretty amazing feat, don't you think? Dear friends, small things add up in ways we have no way of imagining. It is the small things which actually act as the glue to everything around us. If we do not pay attention to those small things, whether it be your work or your personal life, they just keep piling up, and one day it becomes such an Herculean task for you. We are busy setting our big priorities in life, but we don't realize that life is not big events. They say life is a straight line, and you know what a straight line is composed of? Millions and millions of tiny little points. Your life is composed of small moments, and it is in those small moments that you truly live. It is in those small moments that everything happens. If the small things are so important, why do we often tend to neglect them? It is because it's in our human nature. We are hardwired to always be attracted to the most amazing and the brightest thing out there. We want it. You put a new lollipop in a jar full of other candies in a class of first graders, and everybody would want that new lollipop because that is the biggest event in their life at that point of time. But it is the small things that really matter. How can we enforce that we do not lose our focus on the small things in life? First, make doing the small things a habit. Smile often. There's no harm in it. Say thank you often. Make exercising a part of your life, a habit. Second, don't fret over it. Don't fret over trying to understand how it all fits into the big picture of the earth revolving around the sun. Your minds are not even big enough to grasp the enormity of the small things. So don't fret over it. Just enjoy doing them. Derive the pleasure out of doing them. The small things all matter and add up. In fact, the fireworks that light up the sky, it's not one big entity. It's an accumulation of tiny, scintillating and dazzling sparks that light up the sky and give you joy. It is the millions of tiny small water droplets that produce the 7-colored rainbow when struck upon by sunlight. It is the short stories which I write, which ultimately gives me the confidence of working on my novel. So let me rephrase my question. How much importance do you give to experiencing the importance of small things? It is an axiom I have maintained in my life that the little things are infinitely the most important. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Over to you, Rastogi.